Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to tackle something huge, maybe a bit daunting. Getting yourself to the FIFA World Cup 2026 matches in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's less about the glory on the pitch for this chat and more about the nitty-gritty logistics behind it all. We're basically turning that massive pile of travel details into something you can actually use.
Exactly. We want to take you from feeling overwhelmed by ticket phases and flight searches to, having a solid plan. We're focusing squarely on execution. Getting those tickets, booking the travel, navigating Atlanta when you land.
That's the core mission, right? We've dug into a really comprehensive guide that covers, pretty much everything. Ticket steps, flight strategies, even down to using the MARTA system.
So our goal today isn't just about listing steps 1, 2, 3. It's about translating all that official guidance, the deadlines, the costs, the transfers, into a real, usable action plan. Think of it as stress testing the process for you.
Right, because showing up prepared means you get to actually enjoy the World Cup, not spend your time freaking out about a missed train or the wrong kind of bag. When you think about the sheer scale of this event, all these steps FIFA and Atlanta put in place, they're really there to manage the chaos. Our aim is just to help you navigate that system smoothly.
Okay, let's unpack this. The path to the pitch starts with a FIFA ID. Seems like that's ground zero for everything.
Absolutely. Ground zero is the perfect way to put it. Before you even think about matches or seats, you have to get registered in FIFA's system.
So, step 1, before anything else, is creating this FIFA ID.
Yep. Mandatory first step. You head over to FIFA.com/FIFA tickets and get yourself set up with the unique ID. And it's more than just a login.
How so?
Well, this ID isn't just for buying the tickets. It's basically your communication channel with FIFA for everything. All the official emails, the lottery notifications, and critically, it's linked to the official FIFA app. That's how you'll actually receive and manage your digital tickets. So no ID, no ticket, essentially.
Gotcha. So it's like your digital passport for the whole ticketing process.
Yeah.
You can't even get in the virtual door without it.
Exactly. It proves you're, a legitimate person trying to get tickets. Once you've got that sorted, then you face the next hurdle, the sales phases.
Right, I've heard about this. It's not just like buying concert tickets where they all drop at once, is it?
Not at all. It's a really controlled multi-stage process. There are usually pre-sales for specific fan groups or sponsors, then several rounds of general sales, and often a kind of last-minute phase too.
Okay, so multiple chances, which sounds good. But what's the catch?
The catch is, and this is super important, you have to actively register your interest for each specific phase you want to participate in.
Wait, really? So if I register for the first lottery draw, I'm not automatically in for the next sales window?
Nope. You have to go back in and signal your interest again for that next phase. If you forget, or just assume you're still in the pool, you're basically taking yourself out of the running for that round.
Wow, okay. That requires some serious attention span over, months.
It really does. And we know from past cycles and even looking ahead to 2026, based on the guide, the timelines start early. The very first application phase we have data for closed way back on September 19th, 2025.
September 2025. That's ages before the tournament.
Exactly. And notifications for the people selected in that first draw started going out around September 29th, 2025. It just shows you this whole thing kicks off almost a year, maybe more, before the first ball is kicked. It's definitely a marathon.
So let's say you register, you keep track, and you actually get selected in one of these lottery draws. What happens then? Do they just send you the tickets?
If only it were that simple. No, getting selected in the lottery means you get an email notification, and that email gives you a specific and usually quite short window of time to actually log in and purchase tickets.
The infamous purchase window. I've heard horror stories about this.
Yeah, it's the real pressure point. The sources really emphasize speed here. Once that window opens, and it could be just 48 hours, maybe even less. Sometimes the tickets available in that allocation are strictly first come, first served.
So you could literally win the lottery, but if you're slow checking your email or getting online,
you could log in and find the category or match you wanted is already gone, even though you were selected. It means you need to be ready, payment details handy, logged in, basically glued to your screen when that window opens.
Man, that sounds intense. High stakes online shopping, basically. Which leads us nicely into the actual cost, right? Understanding the prices.
And this is where you need to do some real budgeting and expectation setting. The price range is vast.
Okay, give us the spectrum. What are we talking?
Well, the good news is, according to the guide, basic group stage tickets can start at around $60, $60 US.
$60?
Yeah.
That's actually Pretty reasonable for a World Cup match. Makes it feel accessible, you know?
Totally. If your goal is just to soak up the atmosphere, maybe see a couple of different teams in the early rounds, that price point makes it feasible for a lot more people.
But there's always a but.
At the other end, the really premium seats, especially for the final match, they could go up to, get this, $6,700.
6,700. Wow, okay. That's quite the jump from 60.
It's nearly 100 times more. It really shows FIFA's strategy, right? They're catering to everyone from the diehard fan on a budget to the corporate hospitality crowd wanting the absolute best view and, all the perks.
So you really need to decide what kind of experience you're aiming for. Multiple cheaper games, or putting all your eggs in one very expensive basket for a big knockout match or the final.
Exactly. And once you've made that choice and hopefully secured the chance to buy in your window, the actual payment process needs care. You pick your match, your seating category.
Which might be limited by what's left when you log in.
Precisely. Then you need a valid payment method ready. They usually take major international credit and debit cards.
Sure.
And the crucial bit here, small detail but vital.
Yeah.
Double, triple check your order before you hit that confirm button.
Why? Are sales final?
Extremely final. FIFA ticket sales are pretty much always non-refundable, non-changeable once processed. A mistake there could be costly.
Right, okay. So diligence is key. Now, assume you've navigated all that, hit purchase, got the confirmation, you're done, right?
Not quite. Securing the ticket gets you towards the stadium, but then there's actually getting inside. That brings us to stadium entry and preparation.
The rules of the venue itself.
Exactly. You absolutely have to know the specific rules for Mercedes-Benz Stadium, especially coming from overseas. Maybe you're not used to U.S. stadium policies.
And the big one the guide mentions is the clear bag policy.
Yes. This catches so many people out. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, like most major U.S. venues now, enforces a strict clear bag policy. Your bag has to be transparent, usually plastic or vinyl, and within specific size limits, typically something like 12 inches by 6 inches by 12 inches.
So your standard backpack or handbag is a definite no-go?
Absolutely not. You'll be turned away at the security perimeter, which means either a long trek back to your hotel or trying to find an expensive locker somewhere nearby, possibly missing the start of the match. It's a nightmare you want to avoid.
Good tip. So maybe buy one when you arrive in Atlanta if you don't have one.
Definitely plan for it. Don't leave it until you're walking up to the stadium gates. The other key thing for entry is ID.
Right. You mentioned the FIFA ID links everything. Does that mean ID checks at the gate?
Potentially, yes. The guide notes there might be a requirement for a photo ID that matches the name on the ticket holder. This links directly back to that FIFA ID you created way back at the start.
Why do they do that? Resale.
Primarily, yeah. It's FIFA's way of controlling unauthorized resale and just generally knowing who is in the stadium. If you bought tickets for friends or family, you need to be clear whose name is actually assigned to each digital ticket in the app, because that person might need to show matching ID. It's just another layer of preparation needed.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. The preparation doesn't end when you hit purchase. It literally follows you all the way to the turnstile. That ID link is key.
It really is. It underscores the whole controlled nature of the event access.
All right, let's assume you've conquered the ticket beast. You have your digital ticket linked to your FIFA ID. You know about the clear bag. Now, how do you actually get to Atlanta? We're talking flights into ATL, Hartsfield-Jackson.
Yeah, one of the busiest airports on the planet, even without a World Cup happening. So planning your air travel needs just as much strategic thought as the tickets.
So first things first, based on the guide, timing your arrival. Seems obvious, but what's the specific advice?
The core recommendation is pretty simple but crucial. Plan your travel dates around your match schedule, obviously, but build in a buffer. Arrive at least one full day before your first match.
A whole day. Why so much buffer?
Think of it as travel insurance. Flight delays happen, cancellations happen, weather disrupts things. The absolute last thing you want is to miss your match because you got stuck in Chicago or London overnight.
Right. Watching it on an airport TV would be painful.
Exactly. That extra day just accommodates the unexpected. Plus, it gives you time to get from the airport, check into your accommodation, maybe figure out the MARTA routes, and just generally de-stress before the match day madness.
Okay, buffer day locked in. Now, how do we actually find the best flight without spending a fortune? That brings us to the search strategy.
Right. Step 2 is using the right tools. You really can't just check one airline's website and call it a day. The guide specifically mentions using flight comparison sites. Think Google Flights, Skyscanner, Kayak, those kinds of platforms.
Why are they so important?
Because they pull data from hundreds of airlines and travel agencies at once. You get a much broader picture of the options, the prices, layover times, maybe even different airports if that's feasible for you. It maximizes your chances of spotting a good deal.
And within those tools, there's a specific feature the guide highlights: price alerts.
Yes, this is probably the most powerful tactic in your flight booking arsenal for an event like this. You set up alerts for your desired route and dates on these comparison sites.
How does that help?
Flight prices for major events are incredibly volatile. They don't just gradually increase. They jump around based on demand, competitor actions, ticket sale phases maybe. Setting an alert means the system emails you automatically when the price for your flight drops significantly.
So it's like having a little robot constantly shopping for you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It lets you potentially grab a fare dip that might only last a few hours. For international flights or booking for a family, that could mean saving hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars. It turns looking for flights from a chore into an ongoing strategic monitoring process.
Smart. Okay, so you've used the tool, set the alerts, found a price you like, but the ticket price isn't the whole story, is it? Yeah, baggage fees are next.
Oh, the dreaded baggage fees, Section 2.3. This is a huge potential pitfall, especially for international visitors who are likely traveling for longer and carrying more stuff.
Because the rules are different everywhere.
Wildly different. Budget airlines, legacy carriers, different fare classes within the same airline. They all have their own specific rules about carry-on size and weight, how many checked bags you get, and how much they charge if you go over.
So you absolutely have to check the specific policy for the exact ticket you're buying.
Before you buy it, ideally, understand what's included. Sometimes paying a slightly higher fare that includes a checked bag is actually cheaper than buying the cheapest fare and then getting hit with like a $70 fee at the airport for your carry-on being slightly too big.
Right, or a massive overweight fee.
Exactly. The guide even mentions looking for bundled options some airlines offer. The key is doing the homework before you get to the check-in desk. Measure your bags, weigh them if you can, avoid those nasty surprises.
Okay, homework done, flight selected, baggage understood. Now for the final steps: booking and check-in.
This part, 2.4, is mostly about accuracy and efficiency. When you're actually booking, double-check every single piece of passenger information names spelled correctly, dates of birth right, passport details if needed.
Because a typo could cause major problems later.
Huge problems, especially with international travel, security checks, visa requirements potentially. Get it right the first time. Then, once you get that confirmation email, review it immediately. Check the flight numbers, times, dates, everything. Make sure it matches what you intended to book.
And the last tip for smoothing things out:
online check-in. Almost every airline offers it now, usually starting 24 to 48 hours before departure. Do it.
Why is it so important?
It saves you so much time at the airport. You avoid the potentially massive check-in counter queues, especially at a zoo like ATL during the World Cup. You can often select or confirm your seat, get your boarding pass digitally. It just makes the airport experience way less stressful. Puts a bit more control back in your hands.
Makes sense. Less queuing, more relaxing before the flight. Okay, deep breath. You've wrestled the ticket system. You've snagged your flight using those clever price alerts. You've landed at Hartsfield-Jackson, and you remembered your clear bag. Success. But now, you're on the ground. How do you actually get around Atlanta, specifically to Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
This is where Atlanta's public transport system, MARTA, becomes your best friend, especially coming from the airport. The traffic during a huge event like the World Cup is going to be, well, let's just say challenging. MARTA bypasses all of that.
And the guide says it's easy to access from the airport, section 3.1.
Super easy. It's maybe the best airport to transit connection I know of. The MARTA station is located inside the domestic terminal, right between the north and south baggage claim areas.
Oh, wow. So you literally just grab your bags and walk over. No need for shuttles or anything.
Nope. Claim your luggage, follow the signs, and you're basically at the train platform. It's incredibly convenient.
Okay, that's a huge plus. But you need a ticket, obviously. How does the payment system work? This Breeze system in 3.2.
Right, the Breeze system. It's pretty straightforward. The basic fare is fixed. $2.50 for a one-way trip. Nice and predictable.
$2.50. That's great value compared to like a taxi or a ride share from the airport.
Absolutely. Now, for the actual card, you have two main choices. There's a single-use Breeze ticket, which costs $1 just for the paper ticket itself, plus your $2.50 fare. But you can't reload it.
Okay, so that's fine for just one trip? Maybe?
Maybe. But the much better option, especially if you're in town for a few days or multiple matches, is the reloadable Breeze card. It costs $2 for the physical card itself, but then you can load it up with cash value or passes.
And you can buy these right at the airport station.
Yep. There are vending machines right there. Get the $2 reloadable card, put maybe $10 or $20 on it, and you're set for several trips.
And the big advantage is
avoiding queues later. When you're leaving the stadium after a match with, 70,000 other people, the last thing you want is to stand in line at a vending machine to buy your return ticket. With the reloadable card, you just tap the reader at the turnstile and go. It's a huge time and stress saver.
smart. Tactical advantage right there.
Yeah.
Any discounts available?
Yes, important point. MARTA offers discounted fares for seniors, people with disabilities, and Medicare card holders. You'd need the appropriate valid ID to get those, but it's good they offer that accessibility.
Okay, got the Breeze card, loaded it up. Now the actual journey, section 3.3, the specific route to the stadium, it involves a transfer, right?
Correct. This is the key part to remember. From the airport station, you board either the red line or the gold line train heading northbound. Both lines start at the airport.
Red or gold, northbound. Got it. How often do they run?
Usually every 12 to 20 minutes, something like that. Depends on the time of day of the week. We can probably expect MARTA to run more frequent service during the World Cup, but that's the typical range.
And where do I get off?
You read that red or gold line north to 5 Points Station. This is the main downtown transfer hub for MARTA. Everybody needs to know 5 Points.
Okay, 5 points. Critical transfer. What happens there?
At 5 Points, you get off the train and you need to transfer to either the blue line or the green line heading westbound.
Blue or green, westbound. How easy is that transfer?
It's usually pretty well signposted. You'll likely just go down an escalator or stairs and cross over to the platform for the westbound trains. Again, expect lots of staff and probably volunteers around during the World Cup to help direct people. But knowing blue or green, westbound is your mantra.
And those lines go straight to the stadium area.
Yep. Your target stations are either GWCCCNN Center Station or Vine City Station. Both are right there, basically bordering the Mercedes-Benz Stadium complex. You'll likely see the stadium itself as you pull in.
Perfect. So we've arrived at GWCC or Vine City. Now what? Section 3.4, the last mile.
Exactly. From either of those stations, it's just a short walk to the stadium gates. The guide estimates maybe 5 to 12 minutes.
Depends on which gate you need, I guess, and how thick the crowds are.
Precisely. It'll be a walk surrounded by thousands of fellow fans, so soak in that atmosphere. Now, for the return strategy, it's basically the reverse. Walk back to GWCC or Vine City Station. Catch an eastbound blue or green line back to 5 Points, transfer back to a southbound red or gold line, and take that all the way back to the airport station if that's where you're headed, or whichever station is near your hotel.
Seems simple enough, but the guide adds a warning.
A big one. Cannot stress this enough. Be prepared for significantly increased crowds and potential delays on the return journey after the match.
Right. Everyone leaving at once.
Exactly. Platforms will be jammed, trains might be full, and you have to wait for the next one. It will take longer to get back than it took to get there. So you absolutely must allow plenty of extra time, especially if you have somewhere to be afterwards, like catching a flight.
And this is where that reloadable Breeze card really shines again, right? Tapping past the ticket queues.
Absolutely. Shaves precious minutes off when things are chaotic. It's all about reducing those little friction points.
Makes total sense. Now, what if MARTA isn't your thing or you have mobility issues? Are there alternatives? Section 3.5.
Yeah, the guide confirms that ride shares like Uber and Lyft operate extensively in Atlanta. There will almost certainly be designated pickup and drop-off zones set up near the stadium for them.
So that's an option. Convenient, maybe more comfortable for some, but what's the catch?
The catch is spelled SURGE pricing. Big time.
Yes, when demand skyrockets.
Price does too. When 70,000 people pour out of a stadium and many of them open their rideshare app at the exact same moment, expect those fares to multiply dramatically. What might normally be a $15 ride could easily become $50, $70, maybe even more for a short distance.
Ouch. Compared to MARTA's fixed $2.50 fare.
Exactly. MARTA gives you price certainty, rideshare gives you convenience, maybe, but with massive potential cost volatility right when you need it most. So for budget-conscious planning or just predictable costs, MARTA is almost always going to be the smarter financial bet during peak event times.
Good point. and for finding out more detailed MARTA info.
The official MARTA website is your best resource. It's smarta.com. That'll have the latest schedules, route maps, fare options, everything you need. Hashtag tag out trip.
Wow, okay. We've covered a lot of ground from that initial FIFA ID hurdle right through to navigating MARTA like a local. Let's quickly recap the absolute must-dos for anyone listening.
Sounds good. Pillar 1, tickets. Get that FIFA ID sorted first. Be hyper-aware of the sales phases and register for each one. And be ready for that purchase. Window speed is everything. Remember the huge price range too.
Pillar 2, flights. Think strategically. Use comparison sites. Definitely set up those price alerts, that's key. And please, check the baggage rules before you book to avoid nasty surprises at ATL.
Oh, and build in that buffer day.
Crucial buffer day. And pillar 3, ground game. MARTA is almost certainly your best bet from the airport and for getting to the stadium reliably and affordably. Get the reloadable Breeze card to save time and hassle. Remember the transfer. 5 points is the magic word.
Red Gold northbound, transfer at 5 points. Blue Green westbound to GWCC Vine City.
Got it. And allow lots of extra time for the return trip after the match.
Exactly. Those crowds will be intense.
So what does this all mean? It means preparedness is your best defense against chaos. Planning isn't boring here. It's actually your ticket to enjoying the World Cup. Stress-free.
It really is. And it's interesting, isn't it? We've just spent all this time talking through this incredibly detailed, rigid, step-by-step process laid out in the source material. How to get tickets, precisely how to book flights, the exact MARTA route, specific costs.
They are structured.
Which leads to a final thought for you, the listener. We're talking about an event, the World Cup, that's defined by passion, global spontaneity, the absolute thrill of the unpredictable on the pitch. So how much is this meticulous, almost bureaucratic structure we've discussed, how necessary is it to actually preserve that spontaneous, amazing experience?
I will keep updating about FIFA World Cup 2026. If you like this podcast, please subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you for watching.